Welcome to the deep dive. So you've sent us a huge stack of sources that map out what is, I think, one of the most exciting but also one of the most confusing landscapes in modern health.
Oh, absolutely.
Navigating performance and longevity supplements.
It is a dense forest. And I think our mission today has to be to cut through some of that noise. You know, the marketing, the endless lists of things you should be taking.
Right.
We're going to focus on evidence-backed ingredients, establish the real fundamentals, and then maybe look at some of the highly customized protocols from advocates deep in this space.
And I think before we even unpack a single pill bottle, we have to start with the foundational insight. It's something our sources just repeat over and over again. Personalization.
Absolutely. This is the key takeaway. It has to inform every single decision you make. Everyone's biology is, well, it's unique.
So you can't just copy someone's stack.
You can't. Supplementation has to be tailored. It has to be based on your specific genetics, your risk factors, and this is the most critical part, what your own lab testing shows you're actually deficient in.
If you don't have the data, you're just guessing.
You're just guessing, plain and simple.
Okay, so let's unpack those fundamentals. Everyone knows the core four, right? Diet, sleep, exercise, mindset. But what does the high-level data say about which one of those most often derails people's longevity efforts? Even people who think they're doing everything right.
It's mindset. Specifically, it's stress management.
Really?
Yeah. If you are dealing with chronic, unmanaged stress, or something even worse like an autoimmune condition, you will actively sabotage your own best efforts. It almost doesn't matter what supplements you're taking.
So things like yoga or meditation aren't just, nice to haves?
They're not optional. Our sources are clear on this. They are non-negotiable foundations for longevity. You have to be willing to trade that short-term pleasure for a long-term physiological gain.
Let's talk about diet then, specifically protein, because this dilemma around maintaining muscle mass is a huge focus in all the longevity literature.
It is a massive challenge. So the official recommended dietary allowance, the RDA, is about 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight.
Which sounds like a decent amount.
It sounds like it, but that amount is, well, it's generally insufficient to prevent age-related muscle loss, what we call sarcopenia. And it's definitely not enough to maintain lean muscle if you're trying to lose weight.
So the goalpost for maintaining muscle actually moves a lot higher.
It does, significantly. To hold on to your muscle while you're in a caloric constriction, sources suggest you need at least 1.2 grams per kilogram per day.
And that's where the paradox comes in.
Exactly. For someone who's significantly overweight, hitting that high protein target can mean consuming so many calories just from protein that it becomes almost impossible to maintain the deficit you need to lose weight.
So you're stuck. You end up in this tricky spot where most weight loss diets cause you to lose muscle, which in the long run just lowers your metabolism.
That's the structural dilemma. It's really striking.
What about that theory of protein distribution? The idea of timing it throughout the day.
Ah, right. So that theory suggests you should try to hit around 30 grams of protein per meal, maybe 3 times a day.
And the idea is that this pulse of amino acids is what really triggers muscle growth.
That's the idea, yeah, to optimally stimulate muscle protein. Now, the chronic data to fully support this for maximum hypertrophy is still a bit inconclusive, but it's a smart habit just to make sure you're getting enough total protein.
Okay, moving beyond protein, let's talk general nutrient sufficiency. It's pretty alarming how many essential nutrients the average American is deficient in.
It's a widespread issue. We're talking about 90% of the population being deficient in something. And the big ones are glaring. 75% deficient in vitamin D, 73% in zinc.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's not just about a poor diet, right? Absorption is a massive piece of this puzzle.
A huge piece. Poor nutrient absorption caused by, compromised gut bacteria, not enough stomach acid, or conditions like celiac or IBD that prevents you from even using the nutrients in the food you're eating.
So the recommendation here is?
The recommendation is critical. Only use targeted single nutrient supplements after you get personalized lab testing. Something like a SpectraCell micronutrient analysis.
Because you could actually do harm otherwise.
You absolutely could. Overdosing, especially with minerals like zinc, can create antagonism. It can lead to some really severe risks, like inducing a copper deficiency or just outright toxicity.
So we've established the foundation. You can't supplement your way out of bad sleep or a nutrient deficiency. Now that the basics are covered, let's get into the core molecules that have the strongest evidence for a sort of universal benefit.
Okay, let's do it. We'll start with omega-3 fatty acids, so EPA and DHA. They are absolutely foundational. They reduce systemic inflammation. They support your heart and your brain.
And they're linked to longer telomeres, right?
Exactly. And a reduced risk for age-related disease.
So what's a good target for someone who wants to optimize this?
The clinical goal is to get your omega-3 index above 8%. And if you're buying fish oil, quality is everything. Up to 50% of commercial supplements can exceed oxidation limits.
Meaning they're rancid.
They're rancid, yes. You have to look for IFO certification. That's your guarantee of quality.
And for vegetarians.
Algae-based sources are excellent, but just be aware, they are generally more expensive for the same dose of EPA and DHA. A typical dose for cognitive function is around 1 to 2 grams daily.
Okay, next up, magnesium. It feels like this is the unsung hero of minerals. It's involved in what practically everything a cell does.
That's because it truly is. Magnesium is central to over 300 enzymatic reactions. We're talking energy production, nerve function, muscle contraction.
And from a longevity perspective,
The data is strong. Greater dietary magnesium is linked to reduced all-cause mortality. And this is crucial. Supplementation has been shown to significantly lower blood pressure, often as much as standard medical treatments.
we hear so much about calcium for bones. Is the medical system still kind of missing the mark on magnesium's role there?
I think so, yes. Maintaining adequate magnesium is just as vital as calcium for preventing age-related bone loss. And for optimization, the specific forms really matter. L-threonate and glycinate are the preferred forms
Why those two specifically?
because they can efficiently cross the blood-brain barrier,
Yeah.
and that directly supports sleep quality and nervous system function.
Okay, and finally, the undisputed champion of performance, which is now really gaining ground in the longevity world, creatine monohydrate.
Creatine is cited as the #1 recovery supplement, backed by research. Period. It primarily boosts power and muscle repair for short, high-intensity bursts of exercise.
Which is why every athlete uses it.
Right, it's ubiquitous in that world.
But the cognitive and longevity connection, that's what's really new and interesting for this audience.
Precisely. We're seeing emerging human randomized controlled trials that suggest significant cognitive benefits, especially in older adults.
And why is that?
Well, it's likely because the brain's own stores of creatine naturally decline as we age. So, supplementing with 3 to 5 grams daily isn't just about building muscle anymore. It might be about keeping your cognitive energy reserves full too.
So if we connect all this to the bigger picture of aging,
Right. A huge amount of modern longevity science is all about targeting these cellular processes, like mitochondrial health and DNA repair.
which brings us directly to the star molecule of cellular energy, NAD plus ART.
Yes, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. It's the essential metabolic cofactor. It's literally what keeps the lights on inside your cells.
So it's needed for energy production, but also for those sirtuin proteins we hear so much about.
Exactly. Sirtuins are your cellular repair crew. They're key longevity enzymes that manage DNA integrity. And as we age, NAD plus stores decline, so we use precursors like nicotinamide riboside or NR and NMN to help replenish them.
I noticed one form, niacinamide, has a very specific strategic use. Can you explain that?
Right. Niacinamide, which is a form of vitamin B3, can be used strategically during, say, an extended fast. It helps conserve your existing NAD plus stores and supports mitochondrial function when fuel is scarce.
Is there a dose to be mindful of?
Yes, definitely. You want to limit intake to around 250 milligrams. Any higher, and you can get that intense flushing reaction.
Okay, right alongside NAD plus in the mitochondria is coenzyme Q10. CoQ10.
CoQ10 is essential. It's where the power is generated in the mitochondria, and it's also a potent antioxidant. The clinical proof here is just incredibly strong.
How strong?
There was a landmark study that showed long-term CoQ10 supplementation reduced major adverse cardiovascular events by 43% and all-cause mortality by 42% in chronic heart failure patients.
That is a huge number. So for maintaining a healthy heart as you age, CoQ10 is basically an essential insurance policy.
I think that's a great way to put it. And when you're shopping for it, look for the ubiquinol form. That's the active reduced form, and it's much easier for your body to absorb.
Okay, rounding out these cellular lifelines, we have a few other antioxidants and compounds that are sort of crucial supporting players.
A few standouts, yeah. First, quercetin. It's a flavonoid that increases your total antioxidant capacity, it lowers inflammatory markers, and it's even been associated with increased telomere length in elderly patients.
And then there's curcumin.
From turmeric, yes.
Yeah.
A powerful anti-inflammatory. It activates these longevity pathways like AMPK, which is like the master metabolic switch, and the sirtuins we just mentioned.
And curcumin has that key absorption problem we need to remember.
Absolutely. For curcumin to be effective, it desperately needs piperine, or you need to take it with a high-fat meal to get it into your bloodstream.
Okay, and lastly, this duo called Glynac.
Glynac combines glycine and NAS, or N-acetylcysteine, usually in a 1.1 ratio.
Why is that combination so powerful?
The synergy comes from the NAC. It's crucial for boosting intracellular glutathione, and that is your body's master antioxidant. So by increasing glutathione, you enhance your detoxification capacity and your whole defense against cellular damage. A common dose is 600 to 1200 milligrams daily.
The cellular science is fascinating, but how does this all translate into, real-world application? Let's zoom out and look at how the biggest names in this field are actually doing this. Because the protocols, they range from rigorous to just outright extreme.
They absolutely do. Take someone like the futurist Ray Kurzweil. He practices what he calls aggressive life extension.
His regimen is stacked.
It is. He reportedly takes more than 250 supplements a day, often in doses that show they far exceed the US RDA's. And at the same time, he's monitoring over 50 specific health measures. That is the extreme end of hyper-personalization.
Okay, so that's one end of the spectrum. But then you have these highly targeted, evidence-based stacks like the ones Andrew Huberman advocates for.
Right. Huberman's protocols are highly goal-oriented. They're built to fix a specific issue.
It's like sleep.
Exactly. For sleep, he often recommends a stack with L-theanine, usually 200 to 400 milligrams. That promotes relaxing alpha brain activity without making you drowsy. He pairs that with apigenin from chamomile to reduce anxiety, and then sometimes glycine or GABA.
He also uses a very specific stack for hormone support.
Yes, for supporting testosterone. He uses 400 milligrams of Tongkat Ali and 600 of Fidogia agrestis, which he cycles to maintain effectiveness.
And he reported his own results with that, right?
Oh, he did. His T levels apparently rose from around 600 to nearly 800 NGDL on that protocol. It just shows how targeted stacks can yield really measurable results.
This radical level of customization leads us right to advanced diagnostics. People like Peter Diamandis and his work with Fountain Life. This really challenges the whole idea that I feel fine is good enough.
Diamandis' whole thing is preventing what he calls dying from something stupid.
Through aggressive early detection.
Exactly. Their approach is this high-fidelity digital upload of 200 gigabytes of your personal health data. It includes a full-body MRI, a low-dose lung CT, and, critically, a coronary CT. And they're looking for the soft, unstable plaque, not just the stable, calcified stuff.
And the data that comes out of that is a powerful argument for the approach.
It's unbelievable. It just proves the limits of your own perception. Even among members who felt totally healthy, 2% had undetected early-stage cancer, and a staggering 70% of serious cardiac disease has no preceding symptoms.
That data really highlights that the future of longevity isn't just what you take, but what you measure. It challenges the entire premise of reactive medicine.
It does. And this raises an important question. Since personalization and sometimes high dosages are more common, what specific combinations should you be aware of? For safety, we have to talk about synergy and antagonism.
Okay, let's start with the things to actively avoid, the common antagonists.
First, avoid taking calcium and iron together. They directly compete for absorption sites in your intestines. Second, and this is critical for anyone optimizing minerals, is the balance between zinc and copper. Taking high doses of zinc, say 50 milligrams or more for a few weeks, can quickly induce a copper deficiency.
So you need to balance them.
You have to. If you take zinc long-term, you must maintain a ratio, ideally between 10 to 1 or 15 to 1, zinc to copper.
We also need to be mindful of just daily habits, like coffee.
Absolutely. Your coffee and tea contain polyphenols and tannins that actively block iron absorption. So if you take an iron supplement, you have to wait 1 to 2 hours before having that coffee.
And the last word.
Avoid high-dose vitamin E. It can interfere with vitamin K1, which is crucial for blood clotting, and that increases your bleeding risk.
But on the flip side, there are combinations that work together synergistically. They amplify the results.
The key synergy to look for is vitamin D and vitamin K2.
Explain that one.
So vitamin D helps your body absorb calcium into your bloodstream. But K2 or menacdunone is the traffic cop. It directs that calcium into the right places, your bones and your teeth.
So without K2, the calcium can end up where you don't want it.
Exactly. You risk it accumulating in soft tissues, especially your arteries, which leads to dangerous vascular calcification.
Okay, before we wrap up, one last safety warning. This is about all those pre-workout and multi-ingredient products that are everywhere.
Yes, we strongly caution against using these, especially if you're an athlete. Our sources note there's a high risk of them containing undeclared prohibited substances.
Which leads to unintentional doping.
Exactly. And they often just lack clear disclosure of what's even in them. For safety and precision, stick to single-ingredient, validated supplements wherever you can.
We have covered a huge amount of ground in this deep dive. From the essential lifestyle pillars to the core, evidence-backed trio of omega-3, magnesium, and creatine, and then all the way to the cutting-edge cellular and diagnostic frontier.
You know, we mentioned Ray Kurzweil earlier. He predicts that by the early 2030s, we're going to hit what he calls longevity escape velocity.
Which is the point where science extends your life by more than a year for every year you live.
Exactly. The technology is advancing exponentially. It's working to solve the problem of aging itself.
So, given that exponential future, what does that mean for someone listening right now who's just focused on optimization today?
And that's the provocative thought I want to leave you with. If technology is truly advancing exponentially to solve aging, then the only real potential failure condition is dying prematurely before that technology arrives.
Wow.
So how much more important does it become to optimize the fundamental sleep, diet, exercise, and mindset right now? Your mission might simply be to ensure you are healthy enough today to bridge that gap and actually benefit from those massive, inevitable breakthroughs that are coming.